18 years.
Congratulations.
I have been in a side relationship that my husband recently found out about. How can I convince my husband to let me keep the side?
Well, first of all, you need to change that convince word to manipulate.
Ooh.
We're not gonna play those games right now. You took a vow. You took vows. You stood before God or whatever it is you believe in and said that you were going to love this man. It's sickness and through health, for rich and for poor. You said that you committed whenever you took that vow. You committed to be there even in the hard times, even in the times where you were not fully emotionally fulfilled. You still took on that position to say that I'm going to have those conversations. I'm going to communicate. I'm not going to breach the trust in this marriage. You lack marital integrity. And if you lack marital integrity, you lack integrity as a person as well. So my next point to make is the audacity must be on sale right now for you to be able to say, how can I convince my husband, a man at that, convince my husband to let me still have a side relationship as if I did not betray this man, as if I did not hurt this man, as if I did not dishonor this man, as if I did not disrespect this man, and you want to ask for something? You want to ask for what it seems like more of a favor because it's only going to work in your favor. It's nothing that is going to work for him. I don't like when we play these games like this. You entered into what you two believe was a monogamous agreement, and you made it a polyamorous thing. You did. Let me tell you something else that you did. Let's talk about the lack of responsibility. I'm gonna tell you one more thing because I'm sure some other panelists have something to say. This is the problem that I have. Whenever you open up your marriage to something that somebody else did not consent to, if your side piece has depression or anxiety, anything like that, there's a spiritual exchange that takes place when you go sleep with somebody else that you now have invited into your home. So part of the reason why your marriage is not happy is because you were lusting over the fence to begin with.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Ruwell. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the spirit titled, This is Why You're Not Supposed to Marry These Hoes, man. This lady basically went on, I believe I saw this show before, but basically it's a group of people that go on there and they speak about marital issues and all this other stuff. And, you know, of course, you got Keisha on there that likes to interject and give her opinion on what not to do, you know, what to do. And ultimately, this one lady is basically asking, basically for her husband to accept a side dude. But what do you mean accept a side dude? That's fucking adultery, bitch. You know, and the fucked up part about it is that when she mentioned it, all these women was commending it. You know, they was all commending it and all this other crazy shit until this black woman started really getting on her ass. And then all of a sudden, now everybody wants to kind of pander to what this black woman is saying, which this Jake woman here, yeah, she's making sense, but at the same time, she's masculine as hell. You know how you got them chicks that try to have that deep voice, well, you know, you ain't supposed to do that because you defiled the marriage chamber and that's gonna be that way. Like, just trying their hardest to sound masculine, and that shit in itself is not cute. All right, I can't stand a masculine bitch, you know. And then on top of that, she has the fake weave on and all that other shit in the makeup, and she's not a bad looking woman, but you know, out of all that so-called femininity that you're trying to speak on, won't you teach the bitch to be feminine? You know, won't you calm your spirit down? But nonetheless, you know, she didn't say anything wrong. You know, she said what she had to say. And you seen that the black woman was receptive to it because she wasn't expecting that. You know, she was expecting to be approved of, because most of these women, you know, they sign off on a sister code. No matter how stupid or degenerate it is, they will sign off on each other's wickedness because they have what they call a fucking sister code, which is dumb as hell. Okay, there's no accountability and there's no repercussions for their actions for being hoes, you know. But if this was a so-called black man that would have called this woman out, oh, that panel would have went up in smoke. But since there's another woman calling her out, she was receptive to it, which is totally backwards because, you know, the man is the ultimate authority in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So ultimately, whatever he says goes, because what he says is law, because he's giving authority through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But nonetheless, the scriptures say that aged women may teach the younger women that they may be sober, and basically love their husbands and to take care of their children. That's why you're supposed to have elder sisters to keep the younger women in check, because without the older women being in order, the younger women are going to be completely out of order. And this is the reason why you have a bunch of what you call bitches that's outside all the time. But we tell you brothers time and time again, this is why you don't marry these women, okay? Don't marry them, because really, to be honest with you, they're not marriageable. They're not marriageable at all. They're not marriage material, okay? These are concubines. You have a woman that has been totally conquered and destroyed and totally depleted from the inside out. So ultimately, you can't have a wife in this kingdom, because none of these women equate themselves with being servants, which the word wife goes back into the word woman or waif, which means a servant to a man. And these women, they don't want to come under the jurisdiction of a man, especially a so-called black man. So you brothers will be wise not to get married legally to these bitches, because that will be that's the end of you, man. Okay, marriage is nothing but a fucking business contract between a state and a woman to dupe you in and to make your life sheer hell. And that's usually what happens, man. All right. So quick precept. It's not going to be a long lesson. I'm actually on the road. But this is the book of Proverbs 30, and I'm going to start at verses 20. It says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wickedness, man. And that woman, she know in her spirit what she did was wicked and evil. But she didn't ultimately give a fuck about it, because, you know, you got a bunch of simp men in here. So she's looking for somebody to justify her doing what she did. Because a lot of women will co-sign or sign off on what she did as being okay and appropriate. Oh, well, you know, she just living her life. You know, she don't want to be held down. You know, let that woman live. And then you got men that will co-sign on that too. But you got to let that woman be who she want to be. Bullshit, man. And this is the reason why you got a bunch of cucks and homosexuals out here. A bunch of YNs that like to shoot up the club or shoot up the spot, literally. Running around here because you're bringing forth kids through unlawful beds, man. And the scriptures goes into the unlawful bed. This is why you couldn't pay me to get on one knee and propose to a bitch. It's not going to happen. I was looking at this post on Facebook today. And this one chick was on her knees proposing to this dude. And he had a baby in his hand. And the women on there are literally losing their minds, because this woman is literally proposing to a man. But I put in the comment board, I'm like, that's going to be all you women begging for men in a short time. Because the scriptures say in that day, 7 women should partake or take hold of one man. This dude, what the fuck are you doing, man? It says 7 women should take the hold of one man, saying, let us take away our reproach. You know, so that's getting ready to be all you proud, so-called independent, outside boss women. That's going to be all you women here in a minute, trying to take a hold of a man, because, you know, you're going to need the protection in that day, but you're not going to get that protection, you know. But basically, they were so pissed off at this woman, like, oh, that's disgusting and this and this and that. But if it was a so-called black woman proposing to a so-called white man, they wouldn't have a problem with that. They'd be okay. Oh, girl, you found your knight in shining armor. But when it comes to a so-called black man, you're literally the most detestable, man. Okay, and we tell you time and time again, these women hate us, man. Okay, your woman that you laying with is the enemy. So ain't no way in hell I'm getting ready to propose and get on one knee to propose to a bitch that you've been popping literally 8 years every fucking night, and then she moves on to another nigga. Now this goofy ass dude gets on his knees and he's proposing to this hoe, knowing that she was getting banged out by a whole nother man. Like, make that fucking make sense, man. But see, this is what happens when you men grow up under your fucking mothers, man. Because they teach you, no matter what a woman can do, you can never hold her accountable. And this is the reason why you got a bunch of hoes and sluts predominantly coming from the black woman, man. And just the Western woman in general. That Edomite woman, she's not innocent either, man. All right? Because she's just a bigger whore than Keisha. She just get, you know, more praise for the shit she do. But these women ain't right in the spirit, man. All right? So anyway, it says here, it says, such a way as of adulterous woman, it says she eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I've done nothing wrong. Yeah, because they will literally go out and commit all types of wickedness and atrocities behind your back. And the minute you catch them up in their folly, they will literally put the blame on you and they will gaslight you. And then when you call it out, oh, you too insecure. What do you mean I'm insecure? You just had another man's rod in your mouth. Okay, that's not insecure. That's called being a fucking man. That's called being angry and ready to take your fucking head off because you betrayed me, bitch. You know, that's what a real man would really think. You know, but let this society tell you, well, you can't think like that. You can't do anything. You gotta let her do it. And then you gotta be the sucker that stays with her and have kids with her. You know, that's why a lot of men die early. A lot of men die early because, you know, they're under the vibration of a female. You know, and if you paid attention to the video, brothers, if you see the Jake woman that was talking, giving the other chick advice, if you pay attention to the lady that was sitting next to her on the panel, if you saw the look that she gave the Jake woman that was, you know, kicking the facts, kicking the ballistics, if you see the look she gave that woman, you could see the uttermost disdain and hatred for her because of her mindset. She's like, how dare you say something like this to these women? And you're a black woman. No matter what we do, you're supposed to side with us bullshit. And that's what it is. I remember growing up, like, you know what I'm saying? My mother and my sister, I wouldn't understand, but for whatever reason, my sister could never do nothing wrong. My mother will always side with her. Unless she's caught in the act of doing some wickedness, my mother will always side at her. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brother, no matter what, we can have 2 witness accounts against this damn woman, and the mother would side with the fucking sister, all because she's a damn woman. You know? Just straight savagery, man. And they wonder why they're the least married. All right? This is the book of Jeremiah 16, and I'm going to start at verses of 1, and it says, the word of Yahweh came also unto me, saying, thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons and daughters in this place. And this is talking about Babylon, man. Okay, he told us not to take wives there because this place is ultimately defiled. Okay, the women are defiled, the men are defiled, the children are defiled. Everybody's completely defiled here. And it's not a benefactor for men to take a wife in a society that's ruled by women, man, and weak males. And when I say weak males, I'm talking about that Edomite male first, because he's the worst, man. He enables these women to engage out their sexual fantasies. And this is the reason why you have a bunch of sexual deviants running around here like there's no tomorrow, man, because the so-called white man enables people to destroy themselves. This is why porn is free. Notice, you got to pay for water, you got to pay for food, but you could go online and you can use a dildo where you can beat your shit for free. Notice that, right? Since when have this man given you anything healthy for free? You know, and some people may look at it as a release, but no, it becomes addictive, and before you know it, it's like a drug. Porn is like a drug, and that's why he administered it. Hell, if he could sell drugs for free, if he wasn't making so much a $1 billion industry, if he wasn't making that money, he'd give you fucking crack cocaine for free. And there was some accounts that I believe in one of them states that was heavily drug infested with fentanyl. Like, give these niggas fentanyl for free. Give it to them. Let them have it. You know. So this devil, man, he's really with it. But it says, thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons and daughters in this place. But thus says the Lord concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them and their fathers that begot them in his land. It says they should die of grievous deaths, man. Okay, so all these people in this land is going to die if you're not of the elect, because of this wicked, adulterous, wicked ass behavior. Okay, polyamory is wicked as all hell. Okay, a woman is not supposed to have more than one man, because that's confusion, man. And on top of that, let's just say if she gets pregnant, these 2 stupid niggas are fighting over who the father is. Well, that's my baby. I know that in her 5 seconds ago, quick earlier than you. And you niggas are bumping sperm cells and specimens and shit. That's nasty as all hell, man. But you got niggas that really believe they women should have more than one man. You know, and it's fucking gynocracy, man. Polyamorous, that's the spirit. And most of these women are really polyamorous because they jump man to man. You know, even though they may not directly be involved with 6-7 men in a particular relationship as a whole in one house, but nonetheless, your woman, she could be dealing with 6 different men behind your back, and you would never know, because women are taught to take that shit to their grave, man. That's why I don't trust no bitch out walking this planet Earth. I don't even trust my own mother. All right, I don't trust my daughter. I don't trust none of them. Okay, I don't trust a damn woman. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. And that's not to take away, you know, from the righteous sisters out there because, you know, that don't apply to you. But even then, with you were born in this wicked system too. You know, and that's not saying, well, I don't trust sisters, but at the end of the day, you're the weaker vessel. You're more subjected into going off and doing things that's not conducive to the spirit. And you'll be a fool to trust in these damn women, man. All right? Niggas getting on one knee, proposing to a fucking woman that's been slept with 40, 50 men before they met you. You couldn't pay me, man. You know? Fuck that. She want to marry me, you gotta ask me, all right? Because in the ancient world, women were promised, husbands or men were given wives, man. All right? Or they were taken, they were took. That's just how men got wives in the ancient world. They either took them or they was promised to them. That was it. It was through arranged marriages, man. No woman went out here choosing, well, I want to be with that man because his six-pack packs more than this other guy. And he, you know, his hairline is a little bit more defined, and, you know, he has a little bit more crisp and glow to his physique than this nigga. And then she fucks around and get with the nigga. He ends up being a psychopath and put in the spirit world, and everybody say, oh my God, Tay Keisha was a good woman. Oh, the bitch was dumb. All right, and it says, and they should die grievous deaths, and they should not be lamented, and they should neither be buried nor lamented, but they should be as dung on the face of the earth and consumed by the sword and famine, and their carcass should be meat for the fowls of heaven. So you people are going to be destroyed. Okay, the scriptures say the adulterer hunt for a precious life, man. Precious life. So ain't no way in hell I'm dealing with a woman and she got the balls or the titties to ask me, well, is it okay if I have another man? Yeah, you can have another man, but I'm not going to be with you. So you and your other man, or whatever it is, you can pack your shit and you can get the fuck out. And you can go be with that nigga all you want. Go be with him. Get the fuck out my house, out my face. I will gladly allow you to leave and go be with that nigga. Because just the fact that you're thinking that's okay, that shows you're not right anyway. You know, and you men better get you some backbone out here and stop letting these hoes run over you, man. You know? But anyway, man, there's more scriptures I can go into, but I'm on the road. Getting ready to pull up at this location, man. I don't want to be too more distracted. It's too hot. People driving crazy as hell. And you know how it goes. So anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Hawashai Bashim Kakadash. Lord's will, you edify to the next lesson. Shalom.